Shua Tov, everyone, and Shana Tova. Welcome to our Tillis Tell Stories the Saturday Night Group. This week's video is titled A Sudden Specialist. I extracted and adapted the story from a post on Torah.org by Rabbi Label Lamb. A certain Dr. Goldstein from Queens, New York, an ear, nose, and throat specialist, was once visited by a couple with their daughter who was stricken with classic deafness for which there is no known cure. The doctor would have dismissed them without any medical attention, but they insisted that the Ribnitzer Rebbe had sent them specifically for him for treatment and a cure. Have you heard of the Ribnitzer Rebbe? Rabbi Chaim Zanvel Abramovitz, the Ribnitzer Rebbe, was acknowledged by all Jews across the spectrum, including Chabad, as a renowned performer of miracles. He lived in the USSR under Stalin's rule, yet lived a fully Jewish religious life, just as if the communists and Stalin did not exist. He served as mohel, that is a circumciser, and shochet, a kosher slaughterer, holy tasks he carried out with tremendous self-sacrifice and risk to life. But Jewish members of the KGB and its predecessor, the Nekvada, the NKVD, brought their wives and children for blessings, and they experienced miracles. The Russian Gentiles feared and revered him. It is known from the 1930s until the end of his life, he fasted on all days when it is permitted to do so under Jewish law. After emigrating from Russia in 1973, he lived in Jerusalem for a few years before moving to the United States, where he lived for a while in Miami and Los Angeles and Brooklyn before eventually settling in Monsey, New York. Anyway, to appease the couple's persistence and to honor the Rebbe, Dr. Goldstein prescribed a regimen of vitamins, without telling him that's what it was, and sent them on their way. Within a short period of time, the parents received a surprising phone call from one of the teachers at the special school for the deaf that the girl had been attending. It seemed she started to exhibit signs of being able to hear. When it was verified she could, in fact, hear, everyone was amazed, and Dr. Goldstein was crowned with the credit for its healing process. Word spread that Dr. Goldstein could, indeed, cure deafness. He was then faced with a steep legal challenge. Since he had honestly deflected all credit, he was charged with withholding treatment, which is a crime. He had to prove in a court of law that he had offered the girl no more than a placebo. Ultimately, the real cause of the cure, since it was not Dr. Goldstein, by default was legally credited to the miraculous powers of the Ribnitzer Rebbe, and so it was recorded. Years later, Dr. Goldstein received a call from the Gabbai, the attendant of the Ribnitzer Rebbe, requesting a home visit for the Rebbe to assist him with a problem that he was having with his hearing. After administering whatever needed to be done, the doctor asked the Ribnitzer the obvious question: why didn't the Rebbe, who was able to make miracles happen, heal himself from his own ear ailment? The Rebbe responded by quoting the Talmud in the Gemara Brachos 5b, where it says, "A prisoner cannot remove himself from prison." There it tells about Rabbi Yochanan, who helped relieve others of their pain and yet required the help of someone else to alleviate his own. What we do for others, often we cannot even do for ourselves. The Ribnitzer Rebbe passed on in 1995 at age 102, according to a part-time attendant of his, on the 24th of Tishrei. So 3 days ago was his 27th yortzeit. He is buried in the Vizhnitz Cemetery in Spring Valley, and throngs of people flocked to pray at his resting place, not just on his yortzeit, but constantly. He was married twice, but had no children. May his merit intercede for us to bring the redemption and King Mashiach soon. Now.